Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn show, man. Today is April the 14th. Um there are just two games in the NBA for today. We got NBA Cup games for today. We just double check something really quickly before we get started. Make sure I did everything I was supposed to do before I started the stream. See, I did. Okay. So yeah, y'all let me know in the comment section if y'all can hear me or not. I feel like my audio is tripping on my end, but let me know if you guys can hear me or not. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. I see people in the chat. Can y'all hear me? What's up, Fahrenheit? I appreciate you for tapping in. What's up, Tro? Brian, my guy. You good? Okay. All right. Cool. Brian said Discord was killing last week. Thank you for putting that lovely fine. Yeah, I'm glad you guys been cashing, man. What's up, Blunt? Appreciate you for tapping in. It says miss you doing the shows, man. Always good breakdowns and talks with the chat. Yeah, not for sure. We back though. We are back. I took some time off at the end of last week just because it was spring break for my son. And I told you guys a couple weeks ago that I was going to Charlotte to the Pistons game. So we did that. That kind of occupied like the second half of my week. And then we had some meaningless basketball, but definitely still some ways to kind of cash. So I don't have a long time this morning, but I do want to kind of jump right into it and get through these two NBA playing games for tonight. And then we'll be back tomorrow as well to talk about the other two games that we had tomorrow. So with no further ado, let's just jump into it, man. Let's get into it. So we'll start off with Jackson, AI Sports Betting Tool, linked in the description as it always is. Wanted to switch it up a little bit. I asked Jackson for today, what are the two player props available? I said of the two games tonight, what are the two best player props available with values still currently on the line? Give me one over and one under. So Jackson likes let's see. The first one is Jaime Jaquez. Over 11.5 points, minus 117 is what it says. So looks like it says analytical breakdown. This is a premier over, the premier over on the board. The market has set Jaime Jaquez points at a modest 11.5, which appears to be a significantly undervaluation of his current role in this Miami Heat's offense. Over his last 10 games, he's cleared this threshold 90% of his outings, averaging 18.6 points per game. A full 7 points higher than tonight's line. His recent 5-game stretch is even more dominant with the scoring mean of 20.8. Jaime Jaquez Jr. faces the Charlotte Hornets, a matchup where he has historically thrived. In his 4 meetings against the Charlotte Hornets during the 2025-2026 season, he's hit the over 75% of the time, averaging 18.25 points. While Charlotte ranks 13th in defensive rating, they play at the fastest pace one of the fastest pace in the NBA, which I don't know about that. Which should provide Jaime Jaquez Jr. with even more high volume based on number of possessions. So that's the first one, and then the second one is Brandon Miller under 3.5 assists. This one is a low juiced at minus 149, but it says on the other side of the volume spectrum, Brandon Miller's assist prop is significantly inflated at 3.5, While Miller is a high usage wing, 27% usage rate, his role has shifted almost exclusively towards scoring rather than facilitation during the season's final stretch. Miller has stayed under this 3.5 assist line in 100% of his last 5 games, 80% of his last 10. During the 10-game span, he's averaging just 2.4 assists, nearly a full assist and a half below tonight's line. So those are the two looks. There's other things here, matchup and news synopsis, and a lot of other things as well. But those are the first two. Those are the two player props that we're going to talk about here. Jaime Jaquez Jr. over his points and Brandon Miller under his assists are the two looks that Jackson like. Again, the link is always in the description. Check it out for MLB, whatever it is that you guys are betting on. And let's jump into the matchups. So this first one is the Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets. This line opened 5.5, I think is what I saw. And the total was 226.5 when it first opened. And then I saw some 227.5s. And now it's up as high as 229. It looks like. Just make sure I got the opening lines right. And then some money starting to come in on Charlotte as well. This was at 5.5. The spread wasn't really moving, and now it's up to. I saw some sixes this morning, but it looks like all 5.5s. Now that I look again, looks like it's all 5.5. So really, we just seen the total kind of go up a little bit. And based on opening lines, I went through this game using my numbers, and then I used the Money Baller as well, which is linked in the description if you guys are checking it out. This is 4th and 6 nights for the Miami Heat. They do have double-digit in-season revenge. They got smoked the last time that these two teams played, 136 to 106, and that was the game where Charlotte had really turned it on. I think they kind of wanted their revenge because this Hornets team did beat them back on the 6th of March. So enough of all that. The big thing here is that Charlotte hasn't done well against Miami this season. They only 1-3 straight up and against the number. They lost the first meeting by losing the first 3 games by 8 points or more. And then, of course, they blew them out, like I said, 136 to 106. So a couple things I looked at, I wrote in my notes. The first one was looking at the Hornets in home games where their opponent gives up a ton of points. And this Miami Heat defense is one of the worst in the NBA. It's crazy to think that about an Eric Spoelstra-led defense, but they are. They absolutely are. Defensive rating it finished 4th on the full season, but if you just go look at like their last 10, 15 games, which is what I'm basing them off of, their defense has been atrocious. They have an adjusted 125 defensive rating, which is 27th in the NBA. And if you don't adjust it, it's 25th in the NBA, 123.6. They play, of course, super fast, 9th in pace. Adjusted pace is 9th as well. So I looked at the Hornets this season when they're playing home games against teams that allow more than 117 points per game. And they're 12-7-1 ATS this season when playing in those games versus teams that have allowed 117 points or more. So 63% ATS. Post All-Star break in home games where opponents allowed 115 or more, because we know that the Hornets turned it on after the All-Star break. 6-2-1 ATS, and they're winning those games by average of 16 points. I kind of think like Spoelstra's going to throw, some curveballs at the Charlotte Hornet offense. I'm just not sure if their zone is going to work though, because that's what, the Miami Heat secret weapon is to pull out some zone. They just don't play a lot of defense. They're not really bought in on the defensive end, and they play with so many, it's so fast and so much pace. The Charlotte Hornets have no problem running with you. And I do think that they're going to be able to knock down some threes as well. So the more I think about the game, the more I thought about it over the last couple of days, I do think that Charlotte's going to be able to score. They got 117, 120, and 136 in 3 of the 4 matchups that they faced off this season. Charlotte's offense should be able to score in this game. I think looking at them, I do think that Miami is also going to be able to push the pace. I think they're going to try to run fast, push the pace, and be able to score as well. I did see Bam talking about Khalil Ware potentially being in the starting lineup. I'm just not buying it. I feel like Spoelstra kind of keeps him in the doghouse. So I'm not digging too deep into that narrative specifically. I do think that I guess there's some possibility there because Charlotte is such a great rebounding team. They've been they give up no offensive rebounds. They're 3rd in offensive rebounding, an opponent offensive rebound percentage. And they do a really good job on the glass as well, as far as grabbing offensive rebounds. So I do think that we see points in this game. I agree with the total going up. And if I had to bet the side, I think 5.5 is about right. You can go to like FanDuel, and I meant to look at this. I didn't look at it yet. You can go to FanDuel and get like one of those Charlotte to win 1 to 10 point range mark. 1 to 10 point range margins. And I think if I had to play, that's the way I would play this one, is a look towards those games. And those, where are they under? They are under win margin. Yeah, win margin on FanDuel. So Charlotte 1 to 10 is plus 175. I do think that Miami could potentially, get a backdoor, potentially even get a backdoor cover in this game. Miami's been one of the better first half teams in the league as well, but I'm not willing to step in front of Charlotte at home. So Charlotte 1 to 10 win margin is plus 175. If I had to bet, that's what I think I would be betting. I think that there's a path that Charlotte, just holds this Miami Heat team down. They don't score the basketball either. So those are my quick thoughts here. What's up, J-Man? Quee says, Knipple, a lot of movement. Back there last night. I thought that said nipple. Talking about the WNBA draft. He says you have an inexperienced Hornets team versus the best player. First playing team with Eric Spoelstra as the head coach. Hornets 1-3 against the Heat. Heat plus 5.5. Okay. What about playoff pal? I need to see it, man. I do need to see it. I think Miami could be potentially locked in. I understand this, the inexperience, but I mean, I don't know, man. Miami just really not trustworthy on defensive end. I do think 5.5 is about where the spread should be, though. Adam says Kobe White over his points, Diabate over his boards. What do you think, Chris? Melo assist. I like the Melo assist look. I was looking at Melo assist as well. I didn't bet it, but that's something that was on my short list. I didn't really look too deeply into player props in this game, but LaMelo assist was one just because this Miami Heat team don't play a lot of defense. They give up, what is it? They give up the 6th most assists in the last 10 games. Melo's assist line, they did bump it up. I feel like he's been at 7.5 most games. He's been at 7.5. They already bumped it up. He hasn't actually had an 8.5 assist line in man, it's been a while. I'm looking. I don't even think LaMelo had an 8.5 assist game in his last 20 games. It don't look like. So they did bump the number up. I would probably, bring the number down. Just take him at 7.5 and put it with something else, just to kind of reduce the juice a little bit. But yeah, they bumped this up. This was not 7. This was not 8.5 at first, and now it's up to 8.5, which makes sense because Miami just plays so fast. In the games that they played so far, let's see. Yeah, he had a 9-assist game and a 13-assist game. In the 13-assist game, he had 18 potentials. The 5-assist game, he had 13 potentials. And then a 9-assist game, he had 12 potentials. So, yeah, I do think LaMelo should be able to share the wealth for sure. Gina says she'll go Heat plus 5.5. Bam over his 20.5 points. I consider Bam under his boards as well. Bam is I think I'm going to go out here and play hard tonight. I think 10.5 is exactly about where it should be. And I expect his minutes to be there. I just think that this is a really good rebounding team, man. I really like fading players when they have to go into Charlotte, play against the Charlotte front line. Diabate is one of the better rebounders. They got, I don't have to keep talking about how good they've been, rebounding the basketball. So that's something that I consider. Bam had 6 and 12 rebounds in the 2 games that he played in against the Charlotte Hornets this season. What up, DJ says, hope you're doing well, my brother. I love to see you still grinding. All love. I like Miami to cover the 5.5 here. Coach Spo will take away Khan and handicap the Hornets. Okay. Hopefully my Lakers, man. We'll see though. We'll see. Waiting on the injury report. See what Luka can do. We got our hands full with the Rockets though. Not gonna lie. David says me and boys go smoke the Heat. Adam said I do like the 1-10 win margin angle. Yeah, I think that's a good one. What up, 77 figures? He said the postseason finally here. Spo getting 5.5. I'll grab the Heat here. Okay. And Tyler Hero points for Brian. We shall see, man. We shall see. Next game up is, in the last game, is the Portland Trailblazers and the Phoenix Suns. This one I kind of had a little bit of a difficult time with because these 2 teams that I don't necessarily trust. It's really like, which team do you trust more? So to set the stage, one thing I wanted to look at real quick. Not coming up. It's fine. It's cool. To set the stage in this one, you've had Jeremy Grant on the injury report, and this line actually has come down some. Let's see real quick. If I go through, and that total's still going up. I see BetMGM put it all the way up to 229.5. Just popped on BetMGM. So if you like the Heat, I don't know. I don't know if you like the Heat. I don't know what you like as far as the total goes. I don't know if you think they go play some defense or you think they just go score enough points. Let's let's see. All right, so openers, it looks like Portland and Phoenix was 3.5, and then some 4s for Phoenix as well. Total was at 220, all the way up as high as 222 on BetMGM, 223 on Bet Rivers, and it's come crashing all the way down to 217.5. It looks like available on all books, 216.5 on Polymarket, and 217.5 on FanDuel. So this is one where I mentioned Jeremy Grant being on the injury report. I want to say when I looked into this, there were some other guys on the Charlotte. Yeah, Grayson Allen is also listed as questionable. And I saw some stuff. I was reading about, Jalen Green, which I'll talk a little bit about him in just a second. So we got a Portland team that's actually been on fire. Portland has been winning games. They've been covering games. Last 10, they're 7-3 against the number. Has been against a super easy strength of schedule. We've been kind of poking holes in their strength of schedule for a while now. 29th in strength of schedule as far as the last 10 games go, whereas the Suns are 13th as far as strength of schedule goes. But Phoenix has been like, it's kind of Jekyll and Hyde, I feel like. This has been a team that has kind of struggled, man. Yes, they beat the Thunder, but the Thunder had like their C League team out there. They lost to the Lakers, lost to the Mavericks, lost to the Rockets as far as covering. Didn't cover against the Bulls, didn't cover against the Hornets. So I think that's why the reason this number has come down to 3. In my opinion, I looked at the Portland Trailblazers as short road dogs this season. Just 2-6 straight up, 3-5 against the number, but they are 5-3 to the under in this spot. And that's really what it comes down to me. When I was looking into this game, the things that jumped out to me, I know the Portland Trailblazers have played against a super easy strength of schedule. Teams that necessarily can't score the basketball as well, which is why they are first in defensive rating over the last 10 games. I don't think about Phoenix being a great offense. That the one play that I want to play in this game, and I haven't bet it yet, is the Phoenix Suns team total under. I think the number is like 109.5. I do think that Phoenix can win the game. I do think that they can win it with their defense specifically. I just don't think that they're going to be able to score the basketball. I do trust Portland defensively. So under 1, you can get a 110.5. Only one available, well, 2 available if you got Hard Rock, but 110.5 on DraftKings is the number. I think this game will be played super slow. And I think if you like Phoenix, then you like them to play some defense in this game. And that's what they've been doing recently. Like I said, number 1 in defensive rating. The Phoenix Suns offense, in my opinion, is just not great. It's not great. If we look at their just scoring in general, the throw-out Thunder game because they were playing against the B-League team, the Lakers held them to 73 points. They got to only 112 against the Dallas Mavericks. That was the second leg of a back-to-back, but Dallas ruled all their players out. Only 105 against the Houston Rockets, and that was after scoring 37 points in the first quarter. Against the Bulls, they got to 120, but the Bulls had already kind of gave up. Against the Hornets, they got to 107. So I like the team total under on the Portland side of things. If I'm looking at player props, the one that really jumps out to me the most, and then I'll go through the comment section real quick. The one that jumps out to me the most, I'm just going over the outliers so I can show you guys the numbers, is, let's see. I said I kind of like, I do like, this Phoenix team that struggled to score the basketball. And I think just listening, like I'm reading the reports, Jalen Green, I think, really struggles in this spot as well. So if we look at Jalen Green full season, his points, his prop is at 18.5. I think he goes under the number. So if we look at his points all season, we can see that he's over right about 50% of his 32 games that he's played, averaging right at 17.75. We go head to head. We can see that he didn't play in any of the matchups. All these games are from, well, this game he did play in, but this was a terrible game. If people remember, second leg of back-to-back, 3rd and 4th, 4th and 6th, and 5th and 7th game. This game he had 13 points. And this was the game that they, he just I think it was like one of his first games back. So I'm not going to give him too much slack for that. I just think that if I go here and I start factoring who he's playing with, especially if Grayson Allen plays, which I think Grayson Allen will get up for this game, but let's just keep Grayson Allen out. We don't know what's going to happen with Grayson Allen. So with Devin Booker and with Dylan Brooks, we can see that Jalen Green is only averaging 11 points per game, under in 8 of his 10 games. I think the number is too high for a Portland team that does well in handling a player like Jalen Green. dealing with the injury. We'll see. Like, they just kept him out. We'll see if he's good to go. I think he just gets a terrible matchup too. 30% of his points come via above the break three. 23% via catch and shoot. Portland last 10 games. I mentioned number 1 in defensive rating, the number 3 in defensive rating via catch and shoot as well. So I do think Jalen Green under his 18.5 points is a really good look for today. I'm not even sure what this opened at. He gets some points via isolation, but they got, Tamani Kamara. They got some really good guards over there in Portland. I think if Portland's going to be able to, keep this game close and competitive, it's going to be because they play defense. And that's what the spread kind of indicates, just a 3-point favorite, a 3-point dog in this game. So I don't know if I got it in me to take Portland plus the points in this game. I do feel like it's a game that they could potentially win. I would love to know what's going to happen with Jeremy Grant. I feel like he's missed the last few games, last 4 or 5. So him coming back could throw it off a little bit. The offense will get better. I'm not sure what he does on the defensive end. I feel like Jeremy Grant does nothing when I see him on the defensive end. So I'll go Jalen Green under his points is what I feel like is the best play in the game. And then as far as, like I said, the total, I want to go Phoenix team total under 110.5. But we'll see what happens with Jeremy Grant and how that impacts the total in this game. But I like Jalen Green under his points. I do think that he's going to struggle to score the basketball from a field goal perspective, like a field goal attempt perspective. I think they'll be down just because he's playing with everybody else. And if Grayson Allen gets rolled in, I think this 18.5 drops a lot. So those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts for this one. Let's see what you guys are thinking. And then we'll get into a quick recap. Blunt says, not going to overcomplicate this one. Give me the Suns. Okay. He says, where do you post your plays at, bro? They will be sent out to the members today when I actually put them in. That's over on YouTube. Brian says, Portland, Holiday points, rebounds, and assists, clinging to grab 13 boards. Adam says, not sure how you could go against the most profitable team in the NBA in a do or die situation. Personally, we shall see, man. We shall see. Adam says, I took Booker 30 for 30. He's been cooking. That kind of correlates with Jalen Green under, in my opinion. Ken says, Chris been picking on Jalen Green every play in playoffs. But I forgot I faded him last year. Yeah, that was against the Warriors in the first round. Yeah, Ken been here for a while. Yeah, I mean, I just think the matchup in this one specifically, I don't know, man. I wouldn't say I'm not a Jalen Green guy. I don't know, man. He hasn't been consistent. Numbers show it as well. Pharrell says, good morning. The Suns -3.5. The number too short to take Portland. I kind of agree with that. But I do think Portland shows up defensively in this game. I think the Suns offense can struggle. Booker goes for like 35. I like his points over. 77 figure says all that correlates in my opinion. So quick recap. We'll get out of here. I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow morning, I think. Yeah, I think I'll be back tomorrow morning. I do got to drop my son off in the morning at this time, but all good. So quick recap. That first game, I think Charlotte 1-10 win margin is the best play in that game. I'll be looking at Bam under 10.5 rebounds. And then, yeah, because LaMelo assists to Juiced already. In this game, Phoenix team total under 110.5. I think they can get the job done with offense specifically. And Jalen Green under his 18.5 points. Showed you guys why. So those are the 4 looks that I'm thinking about playing today. But again, I want to see what happened with the injury report with the Phoenix game. And we'll see. We shall see, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Appreciate you, 77 figures. Appreciate everybody for tapping in as always, man. I'll try to get back to doing the live shows in the morning, especially for the playoff run, play-in run. Try to get some guests to come on as well. If people got time to kind of connect with me on the weekend, maybe even some evening shows. But yeah, again, appreciate you guys. All love. Check the resources out. They're all listed in the description of the video. Jackson, Outlier, Moneyball, and Odds Jam. And that's going to be it, man. Again, appreciate you all for tapping in as always. And I will catch you guys in the next one, man. Y'all enjoy your Tuesday. I'm out.